All right, National College Football Roundup. Oklahoma State goes to Lubbock. Trap game, right? Trap game. Dangerous. False. Oklahoma State 23. Texas Tech 0.
I thought Lubbock was tough to play at night, right?
Yeah.
That's what I've continued to hear for some unknown reason.
Yeah. Can't lose a trap game on the road if you don't let the other team score, Ted. That is it's a good way to go about it. This just in, Oklahoma State's defense is really good. And
really good.
As we predicted, Donovan Smith came crashing back to earth against this Oklahoma State defense, and they shut down anything and everything Tech tried to do offensively. Now, you look at what Oklahoma State did offensively, it was an interesting performance for the Cowboys offense. I don't think the plan coming into the game was now I don't know this, I'm just assuming, but I doubt the plan was to have Spencer Sanders throw it 38 times because they kind of struggled to run the ball at times against the Texas Tech defensive line that now is back fully healthy, and they are an underrated group. They haven't had all their guys. They had them in this game, and they look good. And they played well, and they made it tough on Oklahoma State. And it was almost like Gundy realized that Tech wasn't going to score, and he was like, you know what, Jaylen Warren, let's have it be a light night for you. He didn't have his typical, 25, 30 carry night in this game. But the one thing about Oklahoma State had another guy go down in this game. Like, they are beat up along the offensive line. So that creates clearly a very interesting dynamic for Bedlam. But Spencer Sanders, man, I know the completion percentage isn't great in this one, but made some nice plays with his legs, didn't make any critical errors in the passing game, took care of the football. Tay Martin had a couple really nice catches. Now, he did drop a touchdown, which, it is what it is, but he's their playmaker along with Presley. But also Tanner Brown made all their kicks. By the way, we didn't talk about it. Burkett's is he just not good anymore?
I don't know, man. Once you got a little chink in the armor, man, the confidence is shaking a little bit. You start thinking about it, and I don't know. Everyone's saying since he's kicked the burrito, he's changed. I don't know. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not.
The curse of the burrito for Burkett.
You got to go kick another one to cancel it out, don't you?
Oh, that's a good point. Or what's the opposite of a burrito? Do you kick the opposite to cancel it out?
Taco?
I feel like they're in the same family. The opposite of a burrito.
Do you have to switch like genres of food, like kick a bowl of pasta or something?
I would, yeah. I think don't you think like a nice, just sloppy burrito, like the exact opposite would be like some fine dining, like foo dish, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you got to sacrifice one of those to the food gods. I don't know.
Kick a lamb chop?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Kick some caviar?
Caviar. There, just kick a thing of caviar everywhere. I don't know. But Oklahoma State's kicker made all of his kicks. So, Ted, I'm not sure that Oklahoma State, if it was the curb stomping you predicted, but they didn't let the other team score. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, we know their formula. It was interesting to see how much they threw the ball, and I'm pretty sure that Oklahoma State's going to have some new things offensively for Oklahoma that we haven't seen. I think they're going to have Spencer Sanders do some things with his legs, quarterback run game wise. And that's what worries me. Like, he doesn't worry me in the drop back passing game. It's what he can do once he gets off schedule, because he's going to be one of the faster, more athletic quarterbacks that we face this year.
Yeah. First time Tech has been shut out since 1997. And
yeah, they've typically been good offensively over the years.
Yeah. And I feel like we have to mention this, no matter what happens in Bedlam, Oklahoma State University will play in their first Big 12 championship game. And as Tay Martin eloquently put it after the game, they expect to whoop OU's ass. So there's that.
This is going to be, it's going to be a great game, number one, but it's going to be probably the most hostile environment OU has played in a long, long time. There's been a couple of top 10 matchups, and I think what was 15 a top 10 matchup?
Yes, it was. I think there's only been like 2 top 10 bedlams.
I think 15 and 85 or something like that, right?
Yeah. What about the 45 Oklahoma State team? Didn't they win the title? I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
just kidding. Did. Just had to work that in there. Come on, it's Bedlam week. Let's go.
That place is going to be. They got a really good football team, and they've got the SEC stuff they've been all pissed off about. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm going to stay vigilant down there on the sideline. Head on a swivel, baby. Head on a swivel. Okay. Michigan State went to Columbus, Ohio, and got their ass kicked. 7-56. And we thought things could get bad for Michigan State if they couldn't run the football well with Kenneth Walker III. Thought they had to limit possessions in this game, and they didn't do any of that. And now it sounds like Kenneth Walker III was pretty banged up with the ankle in this game. He had 25 yards rushing, and his Heisman hopes died in this game as well. But this thing was over in the first quarter. I mean, over. What an absolute ass kicking by the Buckeyes. You look at their defensive line, controlled the line of scrimmage. Their offense just overwhelmed the Spartans. Ted, it was 49-0 at halftime.
They could have scored 100 points.
They could have scored 100 points. Yeah. And I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to make people sad. Believe me, it makes me sad when I say it. It reminded me of the Peach Bowl. That first half, the way that CJ Stroud was just exposing that Michigan State secondary, Olave, Wilson, Smith, and Jigba, they did whatever they want. They took turns roasting those guys up and down the field. The pass protection for Stroud was really good. But yeah, I almost had a flashback watching the game Sunday morning. I was like, oh gosh. But these last couple of games, Ohio State had some trouble scoring touchdowns. We talked about their struggles scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That was not an issue in this one. They were really good in the low red, Ted. The execution was there. They can run the ball with Henderson. Mine Williams he's more than serviceable at running back for them as well. Man, I have to assume that Ryan Day and his staff, like, they started game planning for Michigan on the headsets in the second half. That game was a bloodbath.
Well, the second half was a 7-7 tie. So
that's a great point. If you're Mel Tucker, that's how you're spinning it. They're trying to take that contract offer back, and you're like, no take backs.
Whew. Yeah, that was brutal. Ohio State hitting their stride, and got a big one against Michigan. It's gonna be fun, and I expect Ohio State to win it. Michigan, and it may be in some like horribly dramatic fashion, but that was big time from Ohio State. They are, I mean, a lot of people fail to recognize or talk about the fact that CJ Stroud's a freshman, redshirt freshman. And he did struggle a little bit early, but he also looked really good at times in some of that Minnesota game to start off the season. And then that Oregon game, he's gotten better and better and better throughout the season.
You think Quinn Ewers is going to transfer to Texas?
I remember hearing a rumor about that at some point this season.
Well, he's from Texas, remember?
Right. Yeah. He was committed there originally, right?
Decommitted. That's kind of one of the reasons I think Tom Herman got fired.
Yeah.
Maybe something to keep an eye on.
He's going somewhere.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Beat CJ Stroud out? Did you see that kid? Oh, my God.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That passing game is fun to watch, man. You talk about pushing it down the field.
Yep.
Oh, boy. All right, last game. Oregon goes to Utah. And, of course, we're going to get a competitive game between the two best teams of the Pac-12, right? False. Utah smacks the Ducks 38-7. Ted, we should have never doubted Utah in those jerseys. And I know a lot of people didn't like them, but it doesn't matter if you like them. All that matters is the players loved them. And should have never thought that the Pac-12 was not going to sabotage itself and eliminate itself from the college football playoff for a fourth straight season. But, man, another big game and another ass kicking. I mean, Utah just ran it right at Oregon with Tavion Thomas and some TJ Pledger, our guy, sprinkled in there. And Oregon couldn't do much about it, man. Certainly giving up the punt return touchdown as time expired in the first half to make it 28-0. That certainly didn't help things for the Ducks, but Oregon had to get away from what they like to do offensively. They got away from the running game because they were in such a big hole, and it's just not the way that they want to play. And didn't get enough in the passing game with Anthony Brown. You had wide receivers arguing with each other, wide receivers kind of showing up the quarterback there in the second half. Like, what the hell are you doing? It was interesting. But on the Utah side of things, thought Cameron Rising, man, he did a good job managing the football game for Utah. Just a dominant win for the Utes. And I'll say this, I don't think many people want a piece of Utah right now. They got things rolling.
They do. Good solid play offensively, defensively. Sometimes it can be hard playing with a big lead like that because you start to not worry about every single yard, and you start playing maybe a little bit too conservatively. But God, they were all over Oregon. It's fun to watch, man. When you dominate all three phases like that against a top 5 football team, that's impressive. That's got to be one of the biggest wins Utah history, right?
You would assume, right? I mean, they're going to go to the Pac-12 championship game, and I would assume they're going to be favored the rest of the way, right, with the way that they've been playing.
And they play Oregon again?
Yeah,
because them and Arizona State were tied, but did they beat Arizona State for the?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
nice.
The Utes. Okay, what'd you think of the jerseys? Because I think I think those jerseys are like the classic example of they look cool from close up, but they don't look very cool from far away. Because it kind of just looked like a gray sweatsuit.
It's bland.
From far, yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty bland, but knowing what they are, what they represented, I thought it was really cool. Thought the helmets like capped it all off. I thought it was really good. Nice little change up. Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right.